Hey everybody, I'm back with tip number 3 on how you can sustain your business during this recession if you're out here trying to figure out how to make it all work. Now, one of my tips that I talked about was making a route in your local area. Before I get started, I'm Jewel Williams and I'm the host of All Things Logistics. And I'm going to ask you to subscribe to my channel. As I grow, I want to bring you more tips. So hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be alerted when I'm dropping videos like these to help you be successful. Okay, let's get into this. So, I talked about building a route in your local region. Now I live in Georgia. So, one of the strategies you can use so you're not going too far out, not going too far left, is to build a route in a circle or square. Or I wouldn't necessarily recommend a diamond. It's too scatterbrained and you're going to burn up a lot of miles trying to get that done. So I live in Georgia. I would definitely build my route to hit Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama. I would circle those, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 states. Okay, you got 6 states to play in. So you start in Georgia. Let's say you dip yourself over to Alabama, you move up to Tennessee, you cross over to South Carolina, North Carolina, you dip back down to Georgia, going down to Florida, swing over to Alabama, and just keep doing that route. Now you're probably wondering like, okay, how am I going to do that? How am I going to get that done? That just seems like impossible to me. So my last video, and I'll attach it right here so that way you guys get that a refresher on that one. In my last video, I talked about finding shippers in your local area and using Google Maps to do it. Now, what's important for this is that you definitely need to know your area. But let's say you're trying to build an area like that, and you want to try to gauge what type of shippers are moving freight in these lanes going from. So when you're looking at Georgia, you've got let me make this a little bit bigger because I want to see my street map. So you got I-75 north and south going to Florida and Tennessee. You've got I-20 that's taking you out towards the Augusta. You've got 85 that's going to swing you out there to North Carolina and South Carolina. And you've got 85 that's going to take you to Alabama. You also got 20 that'll take you over to Alabama. So you've got a couple of major traffic hubs that'll take you through Atlanta and to these other spots. So if I were going to build my route, I would play around on the board Direct Freight. Now, I'm not promoting them at all, but directfreight.com, I would play around on this website to give myself an idea of what's going on in these 5 states. So we've got Georgia, we've got Alabama, we've got South Carolina. Oh, let me add some more. So I can't see my screen. So let me pull this over here a little bit more. Okay, so here, show you my screen, show you what I'm doing. Okay, so I've pulled up the low board. Like I said, I'm not affiliated or anything with Direct Freight Services. I'm just using this as an example to help you understand what I'm doing. So I would use this to kind of gauge how I can build a route in this local region. Okay? No, I don't want to do all that. All right. So we got Alabama. We've got Florida. Okay. We've got South Carolina. Okay. We got North Carolina. All right. And we got Tennessee. Okay. So those are all the states that are around Georgia. Now I'm going to do a search. I just want to see what's happening in these regions. All right. So when I pull up my search here, all right, it's showing me that there's about 6,166 loads out here. You know, some of here today, these load boards are kind of fickle. Now, first thing I would do is I would sort by my origin. So I'm in Georgia. So I would sort this out by Georgia. And okay, so of course we got Alabama here at the top. Alabama. No, it's going to go forever. But I would look at, you know what? I should have did this differently. First, let's start there. Let's go. So that way I'm not chasing through all of that. And there we go. No Arkansas. No Arkansas. Just Georgia. Okay. So I'm in Georgia. I just want to see what's out there in Georgia. So in Georgia alone, it's about 1,448 loads, okay? Plus or minus. You guys know how this is. So I'm going to look for my local area. I'm willing to drive no more, deadhead, I would say no more than 50 to 100 miles. And 100 miles I think would be more than enough. But 50 miles, that's about doable. So I live in Duluth. So I'm going to be looking at anything in Atlanta. So we've got here a lot of stuff going on in Atlanta. So I've got a lot of stuff going out of Atlanta, a lot of stuff going out of Atlanta, a lot of stuff going out of Atlanta. Not too bad. Okay. Now the thing about this though, you're probably wondering like whereabouts in Atlanta. Okay. Now I know the area in Atlanta. So if I go over to Google Maps, I'm going to swing down towards Fulton Industrial because that is the hot spot of trucks in Atlanta. So I'm going to zoom in my map over here and I'm going to try to get as close to seeing Fulton Industrial. Should be, yeah, near Six Flags. This area right here. So it's over there by Six Flags, but that is a huge area. Matter of fact, Hart, I think it's, I forget one of Hart Transportation. They're down in there, just to give you an idea. So we got to keep zooming in. Let's keep zooming in. Let's see how close we can get to seeing some names on some buildings and some locations. Okay, so there's the Martin Luther King. There's the Six Flags. There's Tom Murphy, U-Haul, Fulton Inn. Okay, so we're on Fulton Industrial, as you can see right here. And what I'm doing is I'm looking for some clues. I'm looking for who's shipping out. Can I get some warehouse names out in this area? Let me back up some, going in too close. To find me some possible freight. So here's Heartland. I know Heartland is at the far end of Fulton Industrial. So I'm outside of my zone. So it's important you know your area. That's why I'm suggesting if you know your backyard, start in your backyard and then work your way out. So here we got Atlanta Office Liquidators. We've got this Trapeze. I think that's a bar. We've got Mayer Electric Supply. Let's see, you got Penske over there, of course. Okay, we got our Owens Roofing Plant. Who else we got down here? We've got Atlanta Beverage Company. We've got Plastics Packing. What else we've got over here? We've got a display store. So we've got a little something that we can work with. So what I would do is I would try to find something down in this area connected to this board. So I know most of it is Atlanta, and I would try to find something down in that zone, close to it, and then I'd be looking for where I wanted to go. So we're nowhere in Atlanta. Where's our destination? Let's sort by our destination. So we've got some stuff going to Alabama. Let me do it by state. So we got some stuff going to Alabama. All right. We've got Alabama, Arkansas. Arkansas is outside of our zone. Arizona, outside of our zone. California, outside of our zone. Well, here we go. We got some Florida. All right, so we got some Florida. That's part of our area. Where else are we going? But you get the idea of how you can use a board like this to just help you plan out what's available, what's going on in the area. A lot of stuff going on in Florida. Now, if you've been in this business a while, you know sometimes you can get into Florida, you don't get out. So one way you can look at that is using this board to see if you go down to Florida, are you going to be able to get out? You know, you don't want to deadhead out of Florida. That state, especially if you're going all the way down to Miami, you'll get stuck and never get nowhere. So I'm not seeing much connection. So I got Florida and Alabama. Okay, so hey, Florida, Alabama it is. So if this was me, I would be checking out these loads going from Georgia to Alabama and Georgia to Florida. Now, like I said, I would prefer to go to Alabama. Here's why. If I head over to Alabama, I got Tennessee above me. Okay, I've got some place to go out and around. If you go down to Florida, you go down, you got to come back out. So at least with Alabama, you got a way to get out of there, go up to Tennessee or come back to Georgia. So you got two directions and you can go. And the same thing with Florida, but you just have more options. So that's some of the things that you can do to help plan your local route. Now you got to do your due diligence, and it's going to take some time for you to build up this skill set. And if you've got somebody working with you, that's great. If you're working by yourself and you're a one-man team, you know, you can work it out. This is where a good broker can help you out, or a good business manager. And I do both. So if you want to hook up with me and you want me to help you out on planning something like this, go ahead and hit me up in the comments. I'll be more than happy to help you out and help you get situated. So once again, I'm going to ask you to like, subscribe, and share this video with somebody that could use this information. And I hope you're out there making lots of coins, and I will see you on the next video. Have a great one.